Welcoming everyone to another episode with the Second Chances, session 91, I believe. Before we get started, we're going to give our thanks, as we always do first, to Critical Role for creating the wonderful world of Exandria that we all get to play in. And for all the music that you hear on the stream, it comes from Reliquary Records, Dungeon Glitch, Critical Role, Hunter Rogertson, and Boris Slavov. So go and check them out on Spotify or wherever it is that you stream your music. Last we left our heroes, they had begun their journey into the Pallid Grove. In doing so, they quickly saw and realized that indeed, as they had feared, one of the portals of the architect had appeared, and one that they could see from miles off, as it was only being obscured by the Sirios Mountains beforehand. They had estimated that they probably have 5 or 6 days before it potentially becomes an anchor portal and will therefore be irreversible. As they were making their way through the area of the Pallid Grove that the Carventine Company had began cutting down and processing, despite Maeve having found out that they had no permission from the Pallid Elves to do so, as it had been shut down months prior. They found that the lumber camp was a ghost yard, and they were beset by multiple plant life-like creatures that they handily disposed of, and were continuing further towards the tree line of the Pallid Grove, intent to first see if they should investigate what looked to be several buildings and the lumber yard proper further ahead of them, about an hour's walk away, before they would head to Maeve's home. So with that, having just finished up the creatures around you, so I hope no one took a short rest. If you'd like to, you may. But the lumber yard where you see from here, at least, probably with Maeve and Zealous' perception, you can see that there's at least 2 buildings from where you are, behind high walls, and they look to be 2 stories, 2 floors, and seems to probably be sort of like the location where all the lumber is taken to actually be processed.
All right. Well, first things first. Maeve, your home is truly frightful. I see now why you are so skilled with a bow. I wouldn't want to get up and close and personal to that either.
Well, these monsters are not usually what we have to face. This is not typical. Yes.
You can make a nature check if you want to see, like, if these things are native here, if you've ever heard of them before, things like that.
I only have a +1, so we'll see.
I think you did that last session, didn't you?
You can also.
Oh, yeah, did I do?
So you did this based on the tracks and just kind of going off what you saw.
Oh, gotcha.
Make this at advantage, though, since it is your home and you spent many years here. Okay.
19.
So
that's better.
With a 19, I don't think you've ever fought these before, but you have heard of them. They are rare, because your people, make sure to try to keep the Grove as safe as they can, at least in the areas where you would sort of hunt and forage for things. So you've heard of them. The bear things are called groffs. They are sentient plant lives. They can be very, very dangerous, but again, are usually super, super rare. 4 of them sort of working in tandem doesn't seem like typical behavior. The shambling mound, you've heard stories of. You've never known of anyone to have actually seen one before, but also extremely dangerous. The 2 weird little wood guys, you aren't super familiar with, but they match up to a few different, like wives' tales and sort of like myths and stuff like that of creatures that sort of live and inhabit the woods. So it's strange to see so many of them and for them to be acting so aggressive, So could be in relation to just, the portal upsetting the balance here, but they aren't unknown to you.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are the plant bears considered plants or animals?
They are considered plants, which is why Zealous was able to deal over 60 damage to one of them.
Able to blight one into
Oblivion.
dust.
Yeah. Yep.
64.
All right, second chances. Then, while we have a moment, and she gives a sympathetic nod to Maeve, letting her know she knows we don't have a ton of moments. But while we do, going into things blind is a good way to get a limb pulled off. So let's take a moment here and learn what we can. Let's investigate.
Right.
All right.
I
Did you
suppose be on the lookout
plan-
for anything?
Yeah,
more.
did you plan on taking, because you've investigated the camp here. The lumber yard and the buildings are about maybe an hour's hike, sort of northeast. Did you want to take a short rest here for any reason? Get back any spell slots or HP or anything like that? Or you're ready to just head to the...
I think we're
All right.
probably okay to go. The fight wasn't too
Yep.
bad.
So, thanks to all the clearing that has been done here, nothing's going to sneak up on you out here, though you do keep a steady eye on the ground and where any of the major trees have felled in case anything jumps up out of the trees in the grounds like those groffs and the shambling mounds did. And as you get closer to the lumber yard, you see that it is protected. It has a massive wall that has been put up. Not using pallid lumber, though, using lumber from the non-petrified trees around the forest, but your standard fare, giant sort of spiked trunks that have all been put next to each other to create this long, long wall. There is an entrance as you're coming at it from the southeast. There are two entrances that you see. There's one on the east side of it, and there's one on the south side of it. You can also take a moment to walk around to get more of a lay of the land of it if you would like to.
Probably for the best, unless you want to send someone to do that.
You don't hear anything coming from inside, but given the size of the buildings, and obviously knowing that, just looking at how much of the Pallid Grove here has been harvested, this compound could probably fit 20-plus workers or more in it.
All right. Leo, Corey, circle around the perimeter, and Zana, Maeve, peek your heads in there and see what you see.
Very well.
Roger.
Other three of us will wait here and keep an eye on the ground.
All right, so you're going to send Leo and Corey around,
Yep, around the perimeter.
and then you want Maeve and Zana to try to sort of pop up and look over top of it.
Yep.
All right, Maeve, how are you going to do this? Zana's going to attempt to scale up the side of the wall.
I can climb because I have a climbing speed.
Okay. Go ahead then and give me a perception check, and Zana will do
Listen,
the
rangers
same.
aren't good for much, okay?
Let me ask you this. Do you want to do it
Yeah.
right where you are, or do you want to go to a different side of the fence, or a different side of the fort to sort of take a look in?
Oh, so we would go on different ends of it?
Yes, if you potentially went to different ends, you might get different information.
Yeah, that's, I'll
All
do
right,
that.
so you're all currently on the west side of this place. Go ahead and give me a direction that you want to check.
I'll go east.
Go over to the east side. All right. And since Leo and Corey are kind of going all the way around, Zana will pop right up here on the west side. So go ahead and give me a perception check, Maeve.
Okay.
Oh, Zana, no. You know what? Zana's going to use her little clockwork thing that
Aw.
Hermia got her, so she can re-roll that one. All right, so you got a 24.
Mhm.
Zana got a perception. Got a 19. Oh, she's actually pretty perceptive. All right, so looking over where you are, Maeve, and Leo and Corey heading around, there is an entrance on all 4 sides, so north, east, south, and west. The entrance to the north, however, the door has been destroyed, blown off its hinges from the inside. The 2 of you can give me a perception or investigation check if you want to try and figure out why. If you go further in before reporting back to the rest of your party, let me know. Maeve,
Yes.
as you take a look over the wall here, this wall is pretty close to 2 of these buildings. It's like butted almost right up against them. Both of them are 2-story buildings. There is a walkway, a bridge that goes from one to the other. I would say with a 24, you can see that the building to the north seems to have beds and bunks in it. A little bit difficult to see because it's dark inside there, but you can make out bunks. The other one, it's hard to really see anything in there, but you do notice that one of the windows that is open has like vines that are like climbing up the side of the wall and into the window.
Oh, jeez.
For Zana, on her side, she can see a storage shed of some sort amongst a bunch of like processed lumber in the yard, and then another building on that side that seems to mostly be 1 floor, but has another smaller section that sort of is the 2nd floor. I am going to throw you all over and into a map here. This isn't for like combat or anything like that, just more so that you can see the layout of how everything is set up. And I just realized that
Before
can
you do
see
that,
all
can
the
you take us to the
labels.
previous map so I can see how much HP I'm supposed to have?
Yes. Actually,
Thank you.
I need just a second to cover up some stuff because I didn't quite do it right. Height areas. Yeah, turn it on.
Was I at full hit points?
Probably. You probably used half of a spell slot level and got to full hit points.
That's not
Don't
how
be like
that
that.
works.
I mean, it kind of is. I have a...
Can we use half a spell slot? That'd be dope. Can I roll a D2 for my healing word instead of a D4?
Okay. I'm good.
Okay. All right. So yeah, this is mostly just sort of keep track of where people are. We're not going to worry about any sort of like initiative or anything like this. The majority of it's still going to sort of stay theater of mind, but just for those who are those of us who are
I got 20 for initiative.
who are visual learners.
Damn.
Yep.
All right. The blue X is the door that has been bashed down, and the sleep quarters, you see sort of stairs that go up to what you believe are like some sleep quarters, basically. So, eventually I assume everybody comes back. Leo,
Yes.
Corey, Maeve.
Make my report.
The walls can be scaled at any point with some difficulty.
Except for me.
No sign of anyone alive in there?
Everything was dark. That window was broken in from vines, so not a positive sign.
Okay.
But no, I don't see anybody.
There
Sounds
was
similar.
a door that exploded up north. Robbie,
Oh,
I
yes.
rolled a 28.
So for a 28, Leo, the explosion came from inside. There's no char marks on it. There's no burning, which leads you to believe that whatever it is wasn't a conventional explosive. It was concussive in some way. would say that's probably the majority of what you get from it. Didn't see any bodies there or anything.
No blood.
No blood. It also wasn't like blown into splinters. It looked more like it was just sort of blown off of the track. Kind of caved a little bit and cracked, but like you could easily set it back up and on the track, and while it might not open super great, like it would still serve as like, a barricade to keep things out.
Then my next question is something coming in or out? What do the tracks look like?
No tracks.
No tracks.
No tracks.
I relay all this information back to the party. It's like, I have no clue what happened. Usually something gets dragged out. Or dragged in. I don't know what's going on here.
All right. Zana, can you hop this wall and just open this gate so that we have 2 ways in and out?
Sure.
Thank you. All right. We're going to go in. We're going to check it out. See what, if we can figure out what happened. Anyone sees anything, holler.
Or mind.
Or mind.
Just in case you don't want to alert somebody.
Maeve, you hear in your head, could you send the old man over?
I looked at Leo. Zana wants you to hop over the wall.
You hear in your head,
She'll think back to Zana. Why didn't you ask him directly?
never mind. Leo, give me an acrobatics check.
Okay.
Is that what she says? Never mind.
Yeah, she's just like, never mind.
Like, it's okay. I just didn't know.
I rolled under a 5, but I think... Give me 1 second. Where is it?
Honestly, is it because I'm
You're a
nosy?
reliable talent, so you actually rolled a 10, probably.
Yeah, I think that's what I
Oh,
have.
I was gonna say, it would
I
have
got
made Zana
10
feel a lot
plus-
better if you tried to get up over like the spiked part of the fence and you like slipped and like cracked your balls on it or something.
Yeah, I got 15 naturally. So.
All right, so yeah, you hop on over the fence and she points to just this big massive lock and goes, "Do you mind?"
Aw.
Oh. Yeah, I can try to pop it. If you can't get it, I might not be able to. And I can't remember what I roll for thieves' tools.
It
haven't done
is
this in
it
such a
is
long time.
D20 Dex and proficiency.
You shush your mouth.
Okay, so that's a 13 plus 4
That's
plus 5.
She rolled a natural 1
Oof.
No.
and didn't
Oh,
want to
no.
admit it to anybody. That's her second natural 1 of the night, by the way.
Ooh.
Sweetheart, it's okay.
All right.
Zana's having an off night.
So this door is now open as it swings forward. Everyone is able to gather into the yard if they would like to.
Yes.
And go ahead and just move yourselves along. So entering into the lumber yard here, the first thing that you notice, for those of you who now have your own view of the area here, is just how empty it is. Large open compound with 3 buildings. Silence hangs in the air, and you didn't notice it before on your walk here, but there's no birds chirping. There's no insects that are buzzing around. There's no shuffling of machinery in here. There's stacks of pallid lumber cut to various sizes, stacked with other piles still left to be processed. And if you would like to, at this point, wherever you'd like to look around, just kind of move if you'd like to strategize first, you may, but then go ahead and move your tokens to wherever it is you would like to explore.
Try and do this as quickly as we can, so let's split up. See anything? Let everyone else know. Look for whatever we can salvage and take with us. Maybe people might need supplies. So whatever we can salvage, go for it. I'm going to take this big old honking building up here.
You can't take the whole building with you.
I'll take this one.
All right, so Hermes gonna move
Myself
down
there.
this way. Oops. Yep.
Go to sleeping quarters.
People can be here, and people can double up.
You can
like-
absolutely
of
double up
course.
if you'd like to. Yes.
Fine. I'm going to take this whole building.
Zana will go with Maeve.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right, so Corey, it looks like you're going to the same place that Raz is going.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll start with Zealous.
There's words on the ground.
So,
They
I
conveniently wrote
I
on the
take the
floor.
letters.
Holy shit!
Zealous. Walking into this room, it's quickly clear that this is a clerical office. With 6
Probably the
desks,
main one.
A large table, and a smaller nook with chairs, couches, and cabinets. This area looks as though a storm has blown through here. Papers are scattered everywhere. Much of the furniture is toppled or disheveled, and a single body lays near the desk towards the southern exit. And in the nook, there's another body laying on the couch with a bucket next to them and no head.
I think he's fine. He's just sleeping.
And everyone else is probably still walking to their places, so if you want to say anything or call anybody back towards you, you can.
Nah. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all assume that everyone's dead here, right?
Sure, but different people may have different skills suited for certain things. So just keep that in mind.
Nah. I shall. Can I examine the bodies, especially the one with the bucket?
Sure. So yeah, heading over to it, go ahead and make a medicine check.
Are you sure you don't want me to look at it or using perception?
Oh, I'm positive.
12.
So the first thing you notice is the bucket is filled with vomit. The head, taking a look at it, you don't
Okay,
s-
so when you
don't
say
see-
filled, is it like
not to the brim. It has vomit in it.
okay, but like a lot of vomit?
Yeah, more than you're happy to see.
Okay.
The head isn't anywhere around here. Like looking around, it also doesn't look like it was like cut off. There is some trace amounts of gore on the wall, but unfortunately with a 12, you're not quite sure what happened to them.
You're pretty sure they were beheaded.
I mean, they definitely
They
don't
They
have
probably
a head.
had one at one point.
They probably
Well-
had a hat, and now they don't have a head. What?
No, it could have got sucked in.
Sucked in?
The head?
Fucked in his body?
Yeah.
They have an innie instead of an outie. Like,
Yeah.
Birth defect.
Yep, his head just shrank so much it went into his throat.
I mean, the other one has its head, right?
The other one does have its head. Would you like to investigate that one?
Well, I was assuming I was using the 12 for both.
Nope.
But
Go
Oh, well
ahead
then.
and heading over to the other body. Go ahead and make another medicine check.
24.
Okay.
That's good.
You can
Be- be-
definitely tell
Because this one has its head, I can
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do a lot better job.
Yes. So this person, you can tell they died from blunt trauma to the head. They have a massive gash on the back of their head that they bled out from. And with a 24 on it, I would also say that you surmise, just sort of based on where they are, that they were probably either pushed into the desk, tripped or stumbled over other people trying to leave and hit their head on the desk, and that's what killed them.
That's a shitty way to go.
That's rough, buddy.
You can give me. Actually, we'll come back to you in a second. But you can do more checks around here for the rest of the office if you'd like. I'll let you have that perception check at some point.
Real quick,
Yeah.
what race are they?
Half elf female.
Half elf females. Okay.
Maven Zana.
Hmm.
So this is a 2-story building, but unlike the other ones, only this room that you're sort of heading up these stairs to exists on sort of the second floor here. You
see.
do see that there is another connecting walkway that goes, whoops, from wherever. Why aren't you working? I need you to reveal area. Wait, can you guys see where it says connecting walkway upstairs?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think it was. It was
Oh, it's
never
because
closed.
right, all right, because it's dark and it looks like there's fog of war on it.
Oh, yeah.
So yes, this walkway comes out of the top floor of this building to like the roof of this building, but this is the only part of the second floor that's sort of indoors.
Okay.
So heading up to the top here, it seems to be locked. The only windows that you see are from basically the front right here.
Do you want to try unlocking it, or should I try the window?
I can give it a shot. Takes out her thieves' tools.
You got this.
She don't got this.
She does, in fact, not have this.
Yeah, so she sits there for like a solid 2 minutes, and she just keeps like huffing to herself before she's like,
If I'm still there, I'll just walk over nonchalantly, like, help her out.
she just steps aside and
that's what
doesn't
she
say
wants.
anything.
I rub her back. I don't say anything either. I understand. There's nothing to say.
Go ahead,
This
make
just sucks.
yep, make a check, Leo. In fact, her pick
14.
breaks in this one, so
Oh, I try to pull it out, but 14 plus 4 plus 5, so
more than enough.
23.
Yep. A few seconds, you feel the tumblers in the lock pops, and as you try to open the door, it immediately bangs on something on the other side.
So it doesn't open?
Doesn't seem to be opening. It's unlocked, but something
Yeah.
is impeding it from the other side.
Does it feel squishy or is it hard?
Hard.
Oh,
Okay, so
barricaded.
someone barricaded it. Okay.
Well, a couple options. I can make. Is there enough room for tiny luster to get through, and then
Nope.
become big luster and move it?
Nope, doesn't quite like open enough to actually fit through. You could attempt to push whatever's out of the way with a athletics check.
Okay, I can try that.
Yep, go ahead.
Give her help.
Yep, so whoever wants to make
So-
it can do so with advantage.
I'm +4. Is anybody higher?
I'm plus 0, so
Okay.
good luck.
Thanks. 19.
You push yourself against it. You bang against it a little bit. You feel something like it's like maybe moving a bit, but it's not. You need someone much sturdier to force this open.
All right. I'll think to Roz, I guess.
Let's
We need a big, strong woman to save us when you got a minute.
pop over to Rosalind and Corey here real quick.
I was like, it's a difficult life. What can I say?
Feels good to be needed. So as you and Corey walk into this area, it's massive sort of open area. You immediately recognize this as the workshop, where some of the smaller lumber is processed and prepared to be shipped back to wherever it is that it's going. There are 4 main work areas here, one in each of the corners, with a large table and a bunch of tools and sort of crude machinery around them. There is a handful of bodies in here, 4 of them, in various states of decay and having been eaten and chewed on.
I was like, ew. They look like they've been chewed on.
Yes, there are.
Do they look like they like? Are we talking like rats chewed on them, or like there's big chunks of them missing out?
Something ate bits and pieces of them.
They must not have tasted good.
Roz kind of glances over at Corey like, well, that's not great.
I say in Roz's head, I'm gonna talk because if I do, I'm gonna inhale and it smells so bad and I'm gonna vomit.
Roz nods. Fair enough. Roz is gonna start picking up the bodies and kind of lining them up against one of the walls to just put them out of the way and somewhere where they can have a little more dignity than just face down on the ground.
Yeah, and they were all within like the same area. Like they were all like they were either cornered or they were all trying to hide from something. It's not just sort of haphazardly strewn. They're all in like one area, so it's easy enough to kind of take them and set them or line them up somewhere else. About the time that you set the last one down, you hear Maeve in your head.
Right. Corey, just poke around, investigate a little bit. I'm gonna go move a door.
Okay.
Corey, if you'd like to give me a perception or investigation check as... sorry, there you go, Ross, go ahead.
So if I have my Corey spawn summoned, and this is just the regular one because I blew the big boy.
Yep.
Sorry,
phrasing.
Sorry. Could I have the help action from my...
If you're gonna use a spell
Spawn?
slot to bring them out, absolutely you can, yeah.
Woo! You said perception or what?
Or investigation. And here, let me
That's an
go
investigation
and...
for frickin' sure.
Also, we should use that comic that you made and create a token out of the crying one.
That's a 24.
That's really good. For now, though, I'm going to drop Gliss down here. How much HP does Shadow Spawn have?
This one has...
Actually, we're going to rename
65.
this Shadow Spawn.
No.
And you should have control of it as well. Right, so with a 24, Corey, you find a trail of blood as Roz is leaving. You're kind of looking around. There's a trail of blood that goes from the area where these bodies were back out the door in the direction Roz came, and then up the stairs connected to this building.
Wait, where are the stairs?
Right outside here.
Oh. I'm gonna take my spawn with me. And I'm gonna try to quietly creep up the stairs. I'm not gonna go up necessarily, but just get to where my head is like right at like the floor level, you know what I mean?
Yeah, give me a stealth check.
And advantage. Oh god. Oh god.
There's no picking the wrong door. I figured you'd try to explore most of this place, so there's all sorts of stuff to be discovered everywhere.
No, I just meant like I haven't been able to get in the room.
You could attempt, like you had mentioned, if you wanted to, potentially go in through the window if even Roz can't move the barricade.
Yeah, well,
It's
I'll
a
do the next step,
13.
I guess.
Okay. So as you and your Shadow Spawn, who is silently weeping, climb up the stairs and just kind of peek your head just up over the top, you see that there is a door up here, and there is a corpse that this trail of blood leads to, who's up against this door. It looks like their back sort of collapsed and caved in, so they're bent in an L shape backwards, and their hands and bloody handprints are all over the door as though they were like banging on it, and from the waist down has been devoured.
Oh, I think Corey vomits.
Shadow
then-
Spawn cries more,
Yeah.
and then kind of like pats you on the back.
Yep.
Roz, go ahead and give me your athletics check.
I come to push door.
I pushed the door.
Thank you, Nixa, for the tier 1 sub. You can choose any of the party members here to give a free inspiration to. Just go ahead and type their name in the chat, please.
25 for athletics.
That's enough with it being unlocked. So Roz comes over and kind of, puts your shoulder into it and begins to kind of push and there's definitely something heavy there. And so you kind of take a minute. She kind of sits back a bit. You watch as she reloads her arm and then kind of like puts the adamantine one up against it. And then like a solid 20 seconds of pushing against it. And then you can hear something scraping against the floor on the inside until finally something pushes over and the door swings open.
Thank you.
So elevated above the main office here is this single room, maybe 30, 40 square feet, with a large window looking out over the yard. Once inside, you quickly realize that this is the office of the foreman. It's well furnished compared to downstairs, has a desk with a view over the entire lumber yard. And once inside, you see that a majority of that furniture has been moved in front of the door, including a cabinet and a couch that is now up on its side. Sitting in the chair, dead, is who you assume to be the foreman. Several empty bottles of booze scattered around the desk space here.
Oh.
We got it from here.
Oh, okay, I get it.
No, I just remember.
Push open the door and then go back to your thing. I got it.
Weren't you helping Corey?
No, I hear you, Maeve. It's cool. And she walks away.
Mind.
Yes, I'll take my leave too. And I'll go back over to the sleeping quarters.
Wouldn't want to interrupt.
No, okay. Okay.
The romantic scene with the dead dude. I get it.
Funny. Yeah, definitely my type. Anyway, can I make a medicine check?
You may make a medicine check. Corey, you get an inspiration from the chat.
Is Anna gonna help me with that medicine check with the help action or no?
Sure, go for it.
Thank you. Yay!
Okay, yeah. It's wasn't a very high DC either. His wounds are self-inflicted.
Oof.
I would say that you pretty quickly surmise that whatever it was that happened here, whatever has spooked or chased off the workers here, the foreman has barricaded himself in here for some reason, and either couldn't or didn't want to leave and found a different way out. There is plenty more to discover in here. You can make some more checks in just a second. We're going to head down to Hermia real quick. So, Hermia,
Yeah.
as you begin to make your way through the piles of lumber here, you quickly run into two corpses that are splayed up against some of these log piles that have no heads.
Oh, that's fun.
You can make a medicine check if you'd like to try and figure out or take anything from that, or you can keep moving towards the tool shed.
Okay, I'll try medicine. Probably won't figure anything out though. Oh, it's 18.
18. It's disgusting, first of all. You can't really, there isn't really a whole lot more that you're able to surmise that Leaf did. You do notice that there are bite and chew marks around like the legs and hand, like something has basically kind of eaten them off. But what you find most curious about them is that the neck is jagged. No clean cuts, but there's also no like tearing from like teeth. The more of these that you're able to examine, the easier it will be to come to a more concrete detail of what potentially happened to them. As you get up to the tool storage shed, you do find that it's locked, and there is a sign on it that reads, "Key in main office."
Oh.
Or
Okay.
if you'd like to try and open it some other way, you can do that too.
Yeah,
I-
knock.
See, I don't. It would probably be loud though. Are we trying to be quiet?
I mean, I don't think it was quiet when we pushed open the door. When
I mean,
Rosalind
it wasn't
pushed open the
it wasn't
door.
super loud
Yeah,
either.
but it's not gonna be a giant like eldritch blast to the door.
Let me ask you this, Hermia, because you're within distance to ask anyone you want. When you say, "Are we trying to be quiet?" Who are you asking?
Probably Roz.
All right. So, Roz, as you're walking back over towards Cora, you hear Hermia in your head. "Are we trying to be quiet?"
I mean, we're not stealthing around, but obviously we're not trying to draw any attention to ourselves. Why?
The door's locked, and I was just gonna
I
like eldritch blast the door down.
Can I just say how hilarious it is that after opening a door for one of them, for one part of the group, as Rosalind's going back, Hermia's like, "I need help with a door over here."
I'm not asking
I
for
know,
help. I'm just
but-
asking like,
Yeah.
would
But
it
you
be
know
loud?
but you know that crosses Rosalind's mind.
If you can pick the lock, I'd recommend it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it'd be cool though if I could blast it down.
I mean,
I'm
it would be cool.
gonna ask, I guess, Leo, because I'm lazy. Leo, in your head, Hermia's like,
I like
"You
that she's
locked
still
door."
for Leo and Roz's
I'm
head.
just gonna think I'm like getting to this door. and,
every
like,
time you get over to the and specifically because you're like older, because you were you going upstairs to the sleeping quarters, or did you want to look in the downstairs?
Oh, I was going to the sleeping quarters. I wasn't sure which
Okay,
one.
yeah, so that is a
was
door,
which.
but the door downstairs goes somewhere else. But I like to imagine that both times that Leo's called away, he gets up the
I'm
stairs
up at the top,
and he's like, "Oh."
and I just walk back down, and I'm like,
Getting my
what do you
steps
need?
today.
All right,
This
so-
door is
yep.
locked.
Oops.
Okay. Let's see if I can roll good this one. 16 plus 4 plus 5.
Yes, that will be plenty to open it. So just easily as all the other ones, a few clicks here and there, and the big sort of padlock drops off of it. And as you slowly pull the door open, you immediately see the leg of a body in the doorway of the light shining through. Rest of the interior, I mean, you can see that it's connected to a body.
Oh, okay.
But the rest of the interior here is pretty dark, and there's a potent smell of rot that wafts from inside.
I'll send in my dancing lights from my ring.
That definitely opens it up, and peering inside, you can see several cabinets and shelves lined with tools, supplies. One side of the wall has several large tools stacked and sort of stored. You see that in the back, some of the shelves have fallen over and kind of lay against each other, almost on the ground and up against the wall as well.
So, how did this person die? Are they chewed up too?
Yes.
I'll
yep.
give you the help action.
So
to
taking a look
medicine
at
check.
taking a look at this person, they do still have their head. I wouldn't say this probably doesn't require too much of a medicine check. You can see that there's part of like something devoured them.
Oh, but they're inside a locked room.
They are. Would you like to look further?
Yeah.
All right, give me investigation or perception.
give you the help action, or you can channel me for.
They're both the same, so I don't know which one is more beneficial.
They'll kind of give you the same sort of thing. So go ahead and just
Okay.
give me a
I'll just roll and see what I got.
Yep.
I'll take that help action. Oh.
Yep. So go ahead and do it with advantage.
Ooh, natural 20 plus 7.
That's pretty good. So obviously you're both on guard, seeing that this person has been eaten in some way and was locked in here, but you don't see any immediate danger. There are more bodies in the back that look to be sort of halfway under some of the collapsed shelves. How quiet are you trying to be? Like, are you trying to be quiet, or are you just on guard?
I would try to be like a mouse. Like, you can't
Yeah.
hear me.
Because given like Hermia like asked like Roz like, hey, do we want to be quiet? Like she's kind of like
Yep.
overly cautious.
Let me get stealth checks from both of you. Go ahead and put them down in the chat, and we'll get back to you momentarily. Zalis. What else would you like to do here? I assume you want to do your perception check.
Well, yeah, I want to look around the room for. After I looked at the dudes and stuff, I want to like try to see like what the papers and stuff were.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
31.
Is that all? So, of all of the desks here in this main office, one of them is faced out towards the rest, and you see that there's a filing cabinet behind it that has several locks on it. Would you like to try and open?
There is also a sign on it that says "Key in Workshop."
Now this has become like a like one of those point and click games.
Or just call Leo over.
I was gonna say.
Or you know Zana's up above you.
Yeah, but she couldn't open two
Hey,
doors already.
y'all don't know that.
I
Why would
haven't
I-
said anything.
It's
so,
also
yeah,
like
I
you could
wouldn't
also
tell.
if there's some way that you think you could try and force it open as well. I mean, it's just a cabinet. It's not like a major padlock or something complex.
You can also channel me to do that, and probably use like your tentacles to open the locks too.
Tentacles? What do I look like? Some kind of scientist? What? Why would I channel Zana when I have a perfectly good Leo that I could contact? Actually, no, that's a good idea. I could I just try to like druid craft like some vines into the lock to like kind of like just break it apart?
Sure. Go ahead and make. Let's call this a Let's call this a nature check. No, Arcana. Well, your choice. Nature or Arcana.
Well, they're the same, so we'll go with nature. Ugh, let's inspo that.
Remember, you can also spend X amount of inspo to get a straight bonus as well. So yes, using your druid craft, you are able to cause little roots to sort of grow in and out and from around it, and just watch as within a matter of minutes, it just begins to rust over and degrade hundreds of years in the blink of an eye, and then you're able to just kind of smash it apart. Inside, as you begin to go through some of the contents here, and you take a moment to kind of read through them, you begin to realize that the contents of this filing cabinet detail documents about the original agreement with the Pallid Grove. KTC, the Carven Time Company, would work in tandem with liaisons sent from the Pallid Grove to help them select what trees and sections of the forest could be harvested. You also realize that this deal had a set duration and was basically just supposed to be a test period It wasn't anything that was promised to have been continued or long-term or anything like that. And after the original meeting and deal, several other meetings were attempted with the Pallid Elves. Early correspondents rejected a lot of those meetings and then just downright stopped responding to them altogether. They tried offering gold, land outside the grove. Everything was rejected and ignored.
So the Pallid Elves did not respond to.
Yeah, so it seemed like they got the Pallid Elves to like agree to like, all right, let's see how this works out. We will show you what you're allowed to harvest, and then depending on how it goes, we'll see if
we want
to
your wood. Please respond.
Yeah, if we want to continue this, and it seems like they did not want to continue the relationship.
Gotcha.
I know I'm not there. Does it have names on it?
There are some names in there. If you remind me afterwards, I can get you more information on that.
Okay. I was just curious if there were names I recognized. Yep. I mean, I know I'm not there, just if you wanted to share that with me.
I'm going to collect all the documents, even if they don't seem important, just collect all the paper and stuff them in my satchel for Maeve's use later.
Okay.
Gosh, it looks like I'm just gonna like look around the room and click on random things until I find what looks like a key anywhere in here. Or
sure.
like
Yeah.
open cabinet.
You find a key ring amongst this sort of main desk that seems to have a bunch of stuff on it.
Aha! I found it was underneath this banana peel that was randomly strewn about.
Let's go back over to Rosalind and Corey. Roz, you come back over and see Corey just sort of sitting halfway up the steps with Sado spawn. And you see a big pile of vomit kind of trailing down the stairs.
Ooh. Not good?
Oh no, it's really bad. Dude was in the shape of the letter L.
Well, everyone's in the shape of the letter L when they're said, oh.
The other way. Yeah.
It's supposed to be that way.
Gotcha. All right. Well, do you want to take downstairs then? And I'll take upstairs.
And say there's.
I think it's kind of bad all around. I think I'd rather stay with you because, yeah.
All right.
And I'll say that you've pretty much found all that you can down in the workshop. It was a pretty open area, so.
Then Roz will head up past Corey and up into the upstairs.
All right. So, as you go to check the door, kind of moving the body out of the way, you go to push the door and it doesn't budge a bit. It opens like the knob turns all the way, so you know that it's not locked, but this door is firmly in place.
Yep, gonna be one of those days. Roz is gonna start pushing.
Go ahead and make an athletics check for me. As Roz is beginning to try to push Corey, there is like a window here that you sort of take a look at, and the window has also been barricaded up.
An inspo for a 27.
27. Okay. 27's pretty good. You give this thing a few good, hard, college tries.
Roz didn't go to college.
You get there's maybe enough room for someone small to fit through.
Great.
But the door is starting to sort of splinter in, but doesn't fully give away. There's a lot of stuff that's barricading this shut that you're not going to be able to get it fully open.
All right. So Roz is gonna brace herself there and motion to Corey. All right, you're in. Lord knows I ain't gonna fit.
I will also mention, because I feel like Maeve probably would have gave this information to you, this is the building that she would have mentioned has like some ivy growing up the back of it and into an open window.
Correct.
And feel free to draw on this map to make any like sort of notes if you potentially like to. I probably should have
Alright.
used green for ivy, but Corey, would you like to go into the room?
Corey just goes, you didn't say which me, and I just send my.
Well, I'm gonna Misty step my way in, so I mean, whichever you wants to go in is fine.
Yeah, it's Corey's part. I always take all the fun. Why don't you go first?
Corey Spawn grabs you around the leg and just starts weeping.
Aww.
Okay. Oh gosh, fine. And I crawl.
All right, and then Rosalind will Misty step through after her.
All right, so all three of you are inside here, and you can barely get yourself in, Roz. You have to basically stick your head kind of round to see past all of the furniture that has been stacked against this door.
Yeah.
Once in, seeing how much furniture has been barricading it, and a bunch of the windows here as well. You do see the window that Maeve had mentioned broken in the back. There are several vines that aren't just growing up the side of the building, are inside the building as well, so have strung from the floor to the ceiling. The scene here is gruesome. There are at least 8 bodies, most of them without their heads, parts of them eaten, and just vines grown all over the place.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Before we get to you, because you actually would have made a lot of noise smashing into that door there, Maeve, what kind of checks would you like to do in the foreman's office here?
Probably primarily perception or investigation.
Go ahead and hit a investigation for me.
What is Zana's investigation? I'd rather help her.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Let me take a look. Zana's is...
Is it over +1?
Nope, that would be the Dungeons and Dragons Storm Zana has a good investigation. This
Never
one
mind.
has 0.
I will do it then. I get advantage with it. I was just hoping she had a higher number.
Tell you what, she can give you a flat +2.
It's nice. 22.
22. That's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
So as you are taking a look around here, first thing I'll say is that amongst all of the empty bottles of what turns out to be some pretty good bourbon, you find an expensive-looking flask that seems to have some sort of rune on it that looks magic-y in nature, but neither you or Zana can make heads or tail of it, but it looks good enough that maybe you might want to keep it.
All right. Will do.
So
Magical rune flask.
just note down flask. You can do some sort of identifier or something later on. So as you begin to look through and around the desk, you quickly turn up correspondence that has an official logo of KTC on it, which you notice. And the name at first, it takes a minute for it to make sense to you, because you would have heard it around the time that these deals were first being made. But you remember the name Adaric Carvin, and obviously the name itself, the Carvin Temp Company, owner of the company. Correspondence from him to do whatever it takes to resume logging. There are several other letters here, most of them unsigned, that detail different plans, different suggestions, along with gold amounts. Suggest means of coercion, bribery, poisoning, or handling problematic politicians and leaders.
Holy fuck.
Some of them detail that they should just resume logging regardless. A return letter says that when they did that, the Pallid Elves destroyed equipment during the night and gave a warning that further measures would escalate quickly. Adaric Carvin makes a suggestion referencing someone known as the Prism Sage residing in the festering pools as a problem solver. That was the last letter, and it is dated early Brusendar, which is about 3 months ago.
the time I. Well, that was
About
after
the time
I
we
left.
arrived.
Yeah,
it was
actually, you know
after I
what?
Left, but yeah.
Maeve, go ahead and make a history check at disadvantage. Zana will make one here as well. Nope. Not unless she has an 11 history.
Does she?
Okay.
No.
Neither of you have any knowledge of the Prism Sage. You do know that the Festering Pools is a location sort of in the valley between the Sirios Mountains, but the Prism Sage doesn't mean anything to you.
Okay. Maeve's just kind of looking through these, like just brow furrowed. They weren't gonna stop. They were willing to do anything to get this wood.
People will do quite a bit when fueled by greed.
Yeah.
I have to ask.
Hmm.
They claim that the Pallid Elves said that things would escalate quickly. Does this seem... And she just kind of like gestures out the window and like around.
I'm starting to wonder that myself, and whether some things with those creatures were more of a coordinated attack and less of a portal necessarily. The portal may have just been a byproduct. Maybe. Or maybe I want to think that. Either way, I mean, we do have powerful druids. So, it's hard to really know what they would have done when pushed to it, but we're very protective. So, maybe. I don't know.
Say, probably at this point you see Leaf coming outside. Head back over to Hermia and Leo. What were your stealth checks? You got a 21 and a...
18 plus 13, so 32.
Yep, plenty.
Or 31, sorry.
And did I have you roll a investigation or a perception check?
Yeah.
What
Hermia
was
did.
it?
It was a natural 20 plus 7.
That's right. Yep. Okay. Okay. So, with that, you're able to kind of pull a few of these bodies out from beneath some of the shelves. Their heads are still intact, but like the others, they've been devoured in sort of various stages. With your perception check that you got, and because of your stealth check, as you are pulling these bodies free, you hear something else moving underneath the shelves. And as you kind of step back a bit, you watch as vines come out from underneath the shelves, grab a hold of one of these bodies, and pull it back in. You then hear something begin to eat it. And after a second, you watch as this green creature, it almost looks like some sort of vegetation, like this sort of green oblong creature with 4 legs, vines, huge gaping maw and teeth, comes out and begins to gnaw on and eat from some of the other bodies that you had pulled out as you and Leo kind of step back into the shadows.
So, can we tell, like, where it came from?
Nope.
No?
But looking at the size of its teeth, you definitely know what has been eating the corpses around here.
Yeah, I'm just curious about how it got in here.
Does
Hermia's...
it look like a plant?
Yeah, it's kind of like It's shaped like a gourd, almost. Like it has like sort of bulbous, like warts and stuff coming out of it. But it's clearly alive and devouring these corpses.
I'm going to message in the back of Leaf's head. Do you have another one of those plant disappearing spells?
Hermia's gonna message to Raz. Oh shit, get your weapons out.
I think Raz is probably staring at these bodies hanging.
Yeah, so as you and Corey are standing there staring at these hanging bodies, and you hear in your head, "Oh shit, get your weapons out," you see something moving in the debris and from the bodies, and you watch as some of the bodies get pushed over. Some of the vines begin to grow taut, and you watch as these same creatures begin to come out from behind, underneath the bodies, out from where the furniture has barricaded the door, and within seconds of Hermia saying this, there are 8 of these things on you, Corey, and the Shadow Spawn. This isn't going to be sort of traditional sort of combat. They are on you like a swarm very quickly. So you are going to take damage from that, and then you'll be able to decide how it is that you start to respond to these things.
Okay.
So, let's see. With 8 of them, Corey, I want you to roll a d4 for me. Okay. So, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so 2 of them attack Shadow Spawn, and then 3 of them are on Roz, and 3 of them are on Corey. So, Roslyn, you are going to take 24 piercing damage.
Ow.
Corey, you take 24 piercing damage, and Shadow Spawn takes 16 piercing damage. I need Roslyn and Corey to make dexterity. Oh, sorry, to make a DC 14 athletics check. That's your thing, Roz.
Yeah. Well, you know, pushing
How
doors
much
giveth
info do
and
you
pushing
have?
doors taketh away.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
Not rolling good.
Shadow Spawn doesn't have to make it, but with these things being over you so quickly, not only are these massive fangs and jaws sinking into you and like they're crawling up over you, but their vines also have you restrained. So both of you are currently in the restrained condition with these things all over you. So how would you like to respond now?
Roz does think to Maeve, "Oh shit, get your weapons out!"
Fair enough.
Meanwhile, you just hear, "Ow, ow, motherfucker, ow!"
Yeah. When I
Yes, Leo, I do have another one of those in my arsenal.
No.
Going to.
Yes, Corey, what would you like to do?
I want to waste another spell.
I mean, you have 3 of these things just all over you, wrapping you up in vines as they're munching on you.
Launching on me. Is
the
Roz
shadow
within 10
spawn
feet of
escaped?
me?
Yeah, I'd say you're both still pretty close to each other.
Hey, Roz, hold my hand. And then I thunderstep us out of there.
Oh, Thunderstep. Okay.
And we leave Shadow Spawn behind.
Yep,
That's
yep,
so
yep.
such a bummer.
The
So
cruelty.
what does Thunderstep do?
I teleport to a place I can see. I'm assuming I can at least see the at the end of the crawl space. Obviously, probably won't go
So
as far.
you would be able to see and thunderstep yourself basically out of the building.
Oh shit!
Out of that
I mean-
that broken window that you saw, because everything else is
duh.
completely barricaded up.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that,
Mhm.
and then it does 5d10 damage, but it's lightning. So, or wait, no,
What's the radius of it?
It's 90 feet.
No, like what does it? What does the damage affect? Like what's the effect of
I'm
the
sorry.
area of that?
All creatures within 10 feet of
10
where you
feet.
left.
Okay,
Sorry.
so they all die.
Brain.
Die.
Yeah. So, did you say all creatures within 10 feet?
And each creature within 10 feet of the space you left. Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna need you to roll your damage on Shadow Spawn.
I'm sorry.
Actually, look, you don't even have to roll the damage, because as you thunder step out, you hear like the effect of your own like boom that everyone else hears this go off as well. But then you also hear rapid, like in rapid succession, you're not even sure how many, but you hear a combustion of some sort that happened in there as well. Shadow Spawn's gone. You hear in your head, Corey, why?
I'm sorry. Fuck.
When I hear that, because I think at this point Maeve was about to
think
run out the door,
everybody would
and now
hear
she's
that.
thinking to Roz, what?
So this obviously draws this group up this way. Hermia and Leo, your attention, like you hear that as well. Your attention is quickly drawn that way as well. And just out of the corner of your eye, you weren't the only ones that heard it. You watch as 4 of these creatures, or 2 more of these creatures, 4 in total, pour out from underneath the shelves, and 2 of them come for each of you. You're both going to take...
Since we were like, because I didn't like get a chance to, but like as we saw them, I wanted to do something, but you moved on, so I didn't say anything.
What was it that you wanted to do? Because all of this is happening very, very fast, so you telling Roz, hey, get your weapons out.
I would do, like, I was gonna do like a phase step to get closer, because I also have the effect where, let's see, there's something where it like,
Oh, Rosalind, you get another inspo. Oh, she's gone.
Oh, each creature you can see within 5 feet of you takes fire damage equal to your charisma modifier.
Okay. Is that what you'd like to do? All right.
I mean,
here's
if
what
there's
we're gonna
more
do.
coming out,
Yep.
yeah.
So here's what we're gonna do, because they come out very, very, very fast. There's not really like an initiative thing here. So I would like you to make a dexterity check to see if you can react quicker than these things are, because this is happening so fast. You basically told Rosalind, hey, Roz, get your weapon out, and then like just a few seconds later you heard these explosions going off.
I rolled a 19 and my dex modifier is a +2.
So 21. All right. So one of them manages to sort of get past you towards Leo. Leo, I want you to take 6 piercing damage. And then Hermia,
I use my reaction to half that.
If you'd like to, let's
Let's wait
Yep.
on that,
Yep.
actually.
because again, a lot of stuff's gonna happen in tandem here. So this thing gets past Hermia and clamps onto you as Hermia face steps into the middle of this place. And what'd you say was the range on like the fire?
Every like creature within 5 feet of me gets fire damage, plus like 5 fire damage.
Okay, so it misses the one that went to Leo. So Leo, if you want to have that bite, you can. The fire damage goes off, killing the other ones, and as they are burning, you watch as they begin to fold it on themselves, begin to bubble, and then the 3 of them all explode with a small concussive blast. I need you to make 3 dexterity saving throws for me, Hermia.
Yay. Okay. Saving throws? Oh, it's the same.
Yep.
So first one is an 18. And another one. Okay, this one I do not make.
Okay.
Got a 7.
Yep.
And the other one is a 19 plus 2.
Okay. You take 10 damage. 11 damage. Oh, you're lucky that was the one you failed. And 7 damage. So you take a total of, what did I say? 10 and 11 is 21, 7. So you take a total of 28 bludgeoning damage as these 3 things just explode all over you as you burn them as well. Leo, you're easily able to, well, it depends. Having seen these explode as Hermia kills them, one of them is currently on you. What do you want to do?
No, they blow up, Leo.
I'm
Pond.
How big are they?
They're about the size of like a football.
Pond.
I'm going to dash over this way, and if I see like Luster or something, like, Luster, come here. And I'm gonna dash over to Luster and ask him, or not ask him, it's like, bite it, take it up in the air, and maybe shoot it.
So, as Leo runs away, Hermie, you take another 6 points of damage as this one turns and attacks you instead.
Oh, thanks, Leo.
Yep.
I thought there was only one left.
There was only one left, but because you dashed away so fast, it's just like, well, fuck, I'll just bite the one that's still
I thought
here.
it was attached to me.
Oh.
That's why I dashed. I thought they were
Leo
attached.
Okay. Okay, if you want to bring it
Yeah.
along with you, all right, fine.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, Leo, you take another 6 damage as it continues to eat you as you
Yeah,
run
I'll
over to
fucking-
everyone.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, sure. Luster's able to take it up into the sky off of you. It turns and begins to bite Luster. Luster takes 6 damage, and then have Luster make an athletics check because it's going to try to grapple him and not be dropped. It actually likes the taste of dragon now.
Oh, great. Sorry. Give me, 1. That's right, dragon. There we go. Forgot to pull up the. All right. What's your? Are you trained in? Sorry, I have to see if he's trained in athletics.
Yep,
I don't remember what his skills are. Does he not have any skills?
You would just use your strength mod. Probably not. A lot of
Okay.
creatures don't necessarily have a
All
lot
right,
of like
so
proficiency.
plus
or
3, I
whatever.
guess. And I guess he only rolls plus 3. Here we go. 8
Come on, Luster.
Oh God, no.
All right. So yeah, he takes it up. He takes another 6 points of damage as he begins wrestling with it. Do you think that Luster, once this thing starts hurting him, that he would try to just drop it with the plan, or do you think he would just be like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna hurt you back"?
No, he'd probably he'd try to bite it back.
All right. So once he
He
bites
not
it,
as-
when he
he's
bites
not
it back, it explodes. So make a dexterity saving throw for Luster.
Oh, poor Luster.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
I know, Luster.
It's spicy.
It's spicy. It's okay. Dex saving throw.
Yep.
That he's actually because he gets another +1. So hold on.
From
So
that
+1.
victory ribbon he earned.
Yes, and he also he's proficient in it, which is my proficiency,
Mhm.
so +6 to the roll. So could be worse. D20 +6. Are you fucking kidding
Damn
me?
it.
Luster takes another 17 points of damage.
Fine, I can resummon.
So, Roz, as
I'm
you and
so
Corey
sorry.
hit the ground out there, you hear a few more of those sort of dull, sort of like wet explosions inside. And you probably see Luster go up and like wiggle around and then bite something. You see,
Okay. We're gonna, I guess, hurry our way back over.
Yeah,
here.
I'm
We'll
thinking
go
too.
over and knock at the door. We're at the east gate.
yep, yeah, you're able to easily open it up and let them inside.
Hermia's like, I made them explode around me. It was a bad idea.
Hermia comes back and is just covered in this green goo and shit.
I decided to just go in the middle of all of them and light them all on fire, and it wasn't a good idea.
Okay, well, that's what we call a teaching moment.
What about you? There was a huge explosion.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of them upstairs in there, and Corey Thunder stepped us out, which was great.
Oh.
And left behind Oh.
What?
Corey, your spawn, I think, might be dead.
You mean the one that cries?
Yeah.
We also can't hear
Aw,
you.
We may have left them behind.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's probably fine. Okay, well, I think I have an idea of what ate everybody.
Yeah, weird vine creatures.
Do I recognize their description, or when I saw that vine creature, I seen that before?
No, this is entirely foreign to you.
Would I know with an Arcana check if this is a natural creature or some kind of magic thing?
Make an Arcana check.
Okay.
Oh, there's two more sets of rooms we haven't looked at yet.
Yeah, we'll go as a group for these last couple rooms and then get the hell out of here.
13 plus 11. 24.
It's difficult to say. It's possible. They could be natural, but you could easily see them being some sort of mutation or monstrosity. If you had a actual specimen to look at and not just sort of what you quickly saw, mostly in the dark, but it could be.
Okay. Yeah, my
Alright.
nature's not great, so I wouldn't know if it's a natural creature.
I'll also say... No, okay. Yeah, all right. So you have basically one more building left. There's upstairs and a downstairs here.
Yeah, we're going to go as a group and check this one out, I think.
I think we should maybe have someone open the door who can maybe do a range. And I look at Zana, and then if you see something, shoot it and close the door.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan to me. You're up, Zana.
Upstairs or
I
downstairs?
thought you said someone who could open doors.
You don't know about that.
I can use Mage Hand to open the door.
Zana goes and pushes the door on the bottom open.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Looking inside, you find yourself in the mess hall, which is in pristine condition. All chairs are neatly tucked under. The tables are spotless. There are some bins stacked in the corner with dirty dishes that have yet to be taken back to the kitchen. As you all filter in and take a look around, anyone who checks the dishes, there's tons of leftovers in there. Consist of venison, some root vegetables. There's a green mash type deal. Mold is growing on all of the leftovers except the green stuff.
So
Green stuff?
Yeah, there's it's like mashed potatoes, like a squash or something. It's green and like a mash, but it's the only thing that doesn't seem to have mold or bugs crawling on it.
So these creatures don't only want to eat people, I guess.
Well,
Why would the mold not be growing on that?
I don't have nature, so I don't know.
I don't know.
Who has
Does he
nature?
know anything about plants not molding when they're picked?
Somebody want to try and do a nature check?
What
I have
is?
a
Oh, Zealous is gone. That's why I was confused. Okay.
Oh,
There it
okay.
is.
Wait, there he is.
Oh, there he
What's
is.
your nature?
It's really bad. 4.
You're a
it's better than mine.
druid.
It's an int skill. Don't blame me.
No, I'm only +1. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No one's a wizard in this party.
That's so
6.
stupid.
Great.
Why is
Y'all have
nature and
no
intelligence?
idea why mold wouldn't be growing on this stuff.
fair enough.
All right, I'm going to peek my head in the kitchen.
All right, looking back here, much like the mess hall, the kitchen doesn't reflect the same gruesome scene found around the compound. You can tell, though, that whoever was on duty left in the middle of their shift. The sink is still filled with old, dirty water. Several leftovers lay strewn about the prep stations. And you also see half of a large gourd with 2 stumps on the bottom of it sitting on that prep station.
I'm sorry, what?
Does anyone think like these vegetables that they brought in might have been like living like creature things?
Maybe
nods.
you know that whatever these, like, you know, you kind of saw one a little bit. Whatever it is, that's not native to the Pallid Grove.
Yeah, we don't grow.
Well, yeah,
these
but like it
things.
doesn't mean that like there's a portal nearby. Maybe the vegetables came through.
Okay.
Sentient vegetables, that's what we're up against? That's what you think?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Or well,
Hermia's gonna mage hand the gourd with stumps.
Yep.
Is it? I don't know how heavy it is, but
What color is it?
It's easy enough to sort of pick up. It looks like it's been sliced basically in half.
she'll pick it up and then just drop it.
Yeah, you drop it and hits the ground and kind of splatters a bit. With everyone being here in with Maven Zealous, so taking a look around, you find there's a bucket near the trash. Looking inside of it, you see fangs, vines, eyes, and the stumpy legs. It seems like they found these or hunted these in some way and were preparing them.
They're trying to eat them.
Why would you?
And these things
wanna
started eating
eat
them back.
monster
Zealous
vegetables.
and Hermia, give me a final medicine check each.
Okay, here we go,
I'm also
guys.
trained in medicine. I don't know if that helps.
You know what? Sure,
I-
I'll say that sort of giving they can give you the information and you can make
I got a
medicine check as
19.
well. Okay.
High five.
There doesn't seem to be enough remains of sort of the gourd things to justify like how many there are, and if they were hunting and killing them, how did so many get in here? Maeve, you're the one that eventually connects the dots as Zealous and Hermia are telling you what they found and about the different bodies they found. You surmise that eating whatever these creatures were caused them to grow within the skulls of the people who ate it, and the heads burst with them coming out of them, and that's where all of these came from.
Oh, so like the heads weren't bitten off; they just exploded.
They exploded.
yeah, they were. Well,
I feel like there's like an old like Feywild folklore of not eating vegetation that has faces on it.
It's probably just anywhere, honestly. You also find in this room 4 can of soups. If you eat a can of soup as a bonus act, no, these are they are
How
prepackaged.
are they made?
They are prepackaged. They are pre-sealed. All right.
I don't know if I trust it.
Can of soup. They say right on them, like trademarked can of soup. Like that's the brand name. That's the brand
Sure.
name.
I only eat Chef Boyardee.
Listen, everyone else can have a can of soup if they want. Roz ain't touching it.
Can
Yeah,
of soup.
neither is Hermia.
If you
Hermia doesn't
use an
trust it.
action to eat a can of soup, you can immediately make a saving throw against something affecting you.
And then
Oh, I
another saving
gave
throw to make
Roz-
sure your head doesn't explode.
I gave Roz like a bunch of those.
Yeah, you should have a few from, I think you got
already.
Zealous's.
Yep.
Zealous's
But
home.
I didn't get them from here.
Yeah, Roz has a few in her pack. She's good, so everyone else can have these ones.
You
Hermia's good,
also
she doesn't need it.
you also see a large
Good.
jar, and Maeve, you actually recognize what's in it. You see a large jar of fish that you know is common to the rivers around here, and they seem to be pickled. It is the pickled fish of fortuity.
These are legit.
Yep.
They're sex fish?
No, fortuity, not fornication.
Nudity.
They're
Nudity.
like they're a little bit bigger than sardines, but it's a big jar. But there are 16 fish in there. I will send, these are magic items. I will send the ones you don't have yet to you later.
Okay.
But basically, you can eat these, make a con roll, and either get some cool buffs or get some bad buffs.
I hand the thing to Leo, the flask.
Oh, what's this for?
I'm not sure. We found it in the foreman's office.
Is it magical?
It felt like it was.
Can I identify it with Elroy?
You can. So using Elroy to take a look at this, it is a flask of replication. If you fill this magical container with at least 1 ounce of non-magical liquid, you can use an action to have the flask replicate that liquid and fill itself to the brim. The process takes 1 minute to fill up completely.
Oh, there's something crazy we could do with this. I just don't know what yet.
We're about to have our own infinite supply of booze.
Or mayonnaise.
1 minute at a time.
Hermia just said,
I-
or mayonnaise, FYI. I just want to make sure you heard that.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I mean,
Okay.
whatever
Alchemy
you need.
joke for
Yes.
mayonnaise,
Getting
so
mayonnaise out of a flask doesn't seem like a fun time, but
I
yeah.
mean, I wouldn't drink it. I'm just saying if you need it,
Fair
it's
enough.
possible.
But anyway, as we're looking through these things, Maeve will kind of get everyone's attention. Due to some things I found in the foreman's office. Well, it seemed like they were not. They were ordered by the boss of this place to do whatever it took to continue their work here, and
That
seems-
tracks.
my people were threatening them first they were destroying their equipment and threatened further action if they didn't stop. I don't recognize these food monster things, but I can't rule out the connection either.
Okay.
you have powerful druids in your mix that could possibly corrupt things this bad.
We have powerful druids and clerics to the Moonweaver, and even some to the Wild Mother. I don't know how powerful, of course. I'm not magical in that way, but I don't know.
Leo, you didn't try that mashed green stuff, did you? I know you said you wanted to.
He was, but it was in the middle of Maeve saying all
Oh,
that.
I'm sorry,
and he
sorry.
Slowly put it down.
So, no, hold on. Would you have tried it before Maeve said all that stuff?
He would have been hesitant about it until he figured out more about it. Like, to be honest, he's 200 years old. He's not
Okay.
putting weird shit in his
I wish I would have heard it. Damn.
Yeah.
Great. All right.
Oh, Maeve, I
Yes.
found these papers in the main office, and Leaf will produce the papers.
Do I see anything else that I could provide insight on, or?
No, but I mean, altogether, like, you now have, evidence, should you want to use it for some reason in the future,
Yeah.
of a complete sort of timeline of events as far as, like, KTC and, like, what's happened here.
All right.
I don't think this is gonna do anything, but hey, why not? If I were to use like the arcane necklace, would it tell me like if the like vegetable people remains like gave off any type of like residual magic?
Yeah, I would say you could couple that with sort of your knowledge, especially now that you have sort of like half of one of these things, to try and sort of maybe figure out a little bit more about them. So yeah, so using that, go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
Okay. Here we go. 16 plus 11. 27.
Yep, that's a lot. These things aren't natural. They aren't fey either. You would probably classify these as abominations. These were created somehow. Whether they came through the portal, it's hard to tell. But something put life and corruption into these things and made them come into being.
Great.
Yeah, that's fun. Still, I mean, even if they were like trying to like poison them like by like the food, like I feel like you're kind of asking for it if you're eating stuff with like teeth and like legs and arms and shit. Like, why would you eat that?
Well, they cut those parts off.
Well, yeah, but it had them.
Roz
It
puts
came
down a
that
burger.
way. Well, that's different. Like cows are supposed to have legs and a mouth. Vegetables aren't. That's weird.
Fair point. I think we've worn out our welcome here.
You do hear some scurrying on the floor up above you.
Oh, great.
Oh, the one place we haven't checked yet.
Probably go take care of everything around here so some dumb idiot doesn't stumble upon this place.
Zani, you want to go upstairs and just shoot whatever moves inside?
Sure.
You
Everyone
just set this
come,
place on fire
I'll
and
come
walk
Yeah.
away.
I'll come with her.
So Zana and Maeve head up.
Mm-hmm.
And almost as soon as the two of you open the door, like a small swarm of them pile out onto the two of you. Give me a dexterity save. Do it at advantage.
Thank you. 23.
So as the door opens and these things begin to pour out, vines lashing at the two of you, Zana pushes you over the railing and off the stairs. You take 4 bludgeoning damage as you hit the ground. And
Did I make the save?
Yes.
Okay,
The save was to see how many of them potentially attacked or got you. Zana takes...
Oh, I thought the bludgeoning damage was from falling off the railing.
Nope.
That's what I was like.
Yes. The bludgeoning damage was for that.
Oh.
The dexterity save was for something different.
Got it. Okay. She yelps. You're tumbling over the stairs.
All right. Zana
I'm surprised I was
takes 48 points of damage as all of these begin to swarm her. And then she will dimension door away to this side of the roof, shoot one of them, and you all hear that muffled, sort of fleshy pop, 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 pop of a bunch of different ones. And she goes, "Are you all right?"
I should be asking you that question.
You see that she has multiple like bite wounds and is like bleeding in like multiple places.
I think you're the one that deserves that question, dear, not me.
She walks back into the room up there to look around. Did you want to go back up and enjoy her? Or
Yeah.
join
Did you say
her?
enjoy her?
Join.
Now that she's all
What are you
moving and
doing
stuff.
up there?
Wow.
I was gonna ignore that.
A
No
Freudian slip if
explosions
there's
made
ever
her
been
hot.
one.
I was also going to ignore it, but you know who we're playing with, so we should have known better.
I will join her up there.
Yes.
I'm kind of muttering to myself up the stairs. Get pushed down the stairs.
So,
I love it too because she had a dimension door. She could have taken you with her.
Yeah, but then
She pushed you.
She wasn't gonna be able to get it before it hit me, I think was the idea.
yeah,
I'm guessing.
the things came out too quickly.
So the first instinct was push her off the stairs.
Located above the kitchen in the mess hall, large room full of bunks. This is the one that you had originally saw, Maeve. It's filled with beds, both made and unmade. There are vines all over the place here, and there are also 4 bodies that are sort of strung up and like strangled in various ways and tangled to the beds and the ceilings by vines. There's a man's body over in the corner. Near one of the beds, there's a bowl of this sort of green mash sitting there. His body's on the ground, no head. And yeah, it's just kind of more of the same here. Amidst all of the blood and gore in this room, though, you do notice one sort of larger pillow on one of the beds, made of like a silk material, a light kind of red, like a ruby sort of color. There isn't a spot of blood, gore, anything on it.
Legendary pillow of cleanliness.
It's either highly suspicious or highly valuable.
Or princess.
Better not be a princess.
Oh, do you think you still had Princess as a backpack this whole time, Hermia?
Probably.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to make some dexterity saving throws for her.
Really?
No, I'm kidding.
How cruel.
Can I look in the tool shed now like those creatures are blown up? Because I didn't get a chance to like fully see if there's shit in there like that was important.
Yeah, you go back and take a look around, and there isn't a whole lot of anything that really stands out to you in there. It's mostly just like some of the, heavier duty tools, more expensive stuff. The fact that the lock was on it, you surmise that some of the people they were either placing them in there when they realized like what happens to those who like ate the stuff, or they just managed to like get them in there, and a few people just didn't make it out before they locked it.
Ah, okay. Just curious.
I guess we're still with the weird, suspicious silk pillow.
Yeah.
Did
you want to
shoot it?
take it? Like, it's clearly like a magic item. Like you can see that like there's blood.
It's got the highlight
Yeah,
around it.
there's like blood and gore around it, and it's like, look, someone's head exploded and like splattered this, but it just like fell off of it or something.
Yeah, I'll
Like,
take the pillow. That sounds dope.
you picking it up, first of all, smooth as silk, and it feels like you have a cloud in your hand.
Oh, this feels really nice.
It has a slight scent of cherry.
Oh, it's very pleasant.
That's probably quite pleasant compared to everything else
Yeah,
in the room right now.
100% it is. Absolutely. So you
I gave it
rejoin.
to Zana to try.
She's like, it's fine. You can.
She doesn't sleep anyway.
She will like reluctantly just like kind of like give it like a squeeze. Yes, very soft. She's gonna use a what's the thing that fighters do to get stuff back?
Second wind.
Yeah, she's gonna use a second wind. Only 1d10 plus 11. That's not a lot.
I don't think it upgrades to like 13 or 14. I can't remember though.
Oh, your music's fucking up too.
All right, I'll fix it. So yes, Maeve and Zana come back downstairs. Zana has like bite and like serration marks like all over her. She's like wrapping like bandages around like her arm and stuff like that.
I'm
like,
trying to
stop
help her,
it.
and she's
Yeah.
pushing me away. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
she is. She's like,
She's still
I'm
still
fine.
trying to help. Like, no, this is my fault.
No, it's not.
Well, maybe I should have been faster and pushed you down the stairs.
You could certainly try.
Ugh.
So more of these could be out there.
Yes, I think. Well, at the very least, we know what they look like. But I kind of feel like this was a targeted attack. Still, don't eat the squash.
Yeah, I would say don't eat any
Weird vegetables we find out here.
yeah.
Or if we do, Zealous, can you purify them?
You still have
Good point. I have purified food and drink.
You do?
You want to give it a try?
No, because I don't want
No.
to test it.
You say you have half of one in there if you wanted to potentially try it.
No,
or you
I
could
think we're good.
get any of that green mash and try it.
No, I'm good. Thanks. That's fine. We're gonna leave this place.
Zealous?
This place.
What if it's really good? We could make it
I
into a new
don't-
business.
Think it
No.
is.
Oh.
All
I
right.
don't have that spell. prepared.
So, with that, you leave the lumberyard behind and begin your trek towards Maeve's home village. You should be able to get there by nightfall. Maeve, go ahead and give me a survival check.
Okay.
To determine how...
I have a question. Are we underground right now?
No, you are not
No.
underground.
Okay.
You're basically just within, like, the first 100 or so yards of entering into the Pallid Grove,
I am.
but you haven't gotten into the forest yet because everything that would have been forest since you entered has been chopped down. It's like a scene out of Fern Gully.
Oh, okay.
I'm inspoing that one sec.
Oh, honey.
Oh, well, there you go.
Okay.
It's better.
That is much better.
So that is the opposite.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rolls be weird like that sometimes.
So you should get there just before sunset, but you do still have quite a bit of a trek in front of you here. Everybody roll a d20 for me.
Just a D20?
I don't wanna.
All right. Is rolling high bad or good?
Oh, I guess I could do Zana too.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
I can tell you.
Okay. So as you are all getting ready to leave and you begin to head out after having sort of stood around here for at least a couple minutes, kind of, talking amongst your findings, Maeve kind of preparing everyone for, what to expect going through the forest and the Pallid Grove.
Don't speak unless I tell you to speak.
Why do you look at me when you say that?
I'm looking at you and Corey, to be fair.
Okay, why do you look at us when you say that? Why are you looking at the Lorests when you say that?
And to be fair, you speak Elven. I don't think Corey does.
I do speak Elven.
So therefore, just be mindful. The Pallid Grove has like its own dialect, and there's some things that you would normally say that don't really mean the way you think they are. So just be careful.
Okay, well,
I
I'm just
don't
going to say
like
the last
talking
time we
to
ran
people.
into a group of Pallid elves, they were all thirsting over me, so.
Yeah, and how am I supposed to practice, my Elvish, okay?
Yes, follow my lead. And let me speak to them first.
Okay.
Already gonna probably be on edge that I'm bringing outsiders in. I don't even know if they're going to kill me on sight.
Roz looks around. I think it's the least of their worries.
Leo, we are able to speak, though.
Yeah, no pallet pile stuff, right? Just joking with you, man.
We're not having orgies every day, okay?
Just on the holidays. She was
Special
specific.
occasions?
Just on the special occasions, anyway.
You've seen this
You see
realm.
Hermia
There's
as,
a
like,
holiday
taking
every
notes.
weekend.
No, it's once a month with the moon.
Hermia is taking notes in her notebook.
And
Monthly
also,
piles. Got it.
the orgy, the orgies are... I never got to participate in one, okay? I wasn't cool enough. So,
Zana goes, "Oh, you weren't invited?"
So you have to
yes,
be
I
cool
wasn't
to
invited.
be
Guess who
part of
usually
it.
hosted them?
Oh.
Fucking Carrie.
Oh, that's rough.
The one who
We met
defiled our
Carrie, right?
van, right?
You know what? I actually...
Like, oh, they're lost.
The way that my
We
brain
met-
started to interpret it, because Maeve always talked about how she plans everything, I thought Maeve
yeah.
planned it, but wasn't invited to it.
I mean,
Oh, it's
they
messed up.
planned the celebration of the holiday and then like the after party that was
Oh,
always
so while everybody else was
whatever.
having an orgy, you were
Yeah.
stuck cleaning up.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what I'm going with here. That is Maeve's entire characterization.
All right. So as you all begin to walk off, Roz, you feel the ground under your feet, like where you were standing, kind of gives a little, and as you look down, there is just like clumps of worms that you were standing in, and like you look around,
Oh.
you look around where everyone else is, it's just underneath you.
Ew.
Oh, you're unlucky.
Oh, Roz.
What's wrong?
As Roz exclaims this, and you all turn around, you don't see anything.
Raz, what are you talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry. You like standing in worms, I take it.
Worms?
She's
What are
like
you?
brushing her boots off.
Does it look like she's brushing anything off?
No, just they're just dirty.
Raz,
What?
there's nothing there.
Illusion, maybe?
Roz is like looking at her hand, which I assume is now covered in worm guts.
No, all the worms are gone.
Oh.
Do you eat the squash?
No, I didn't eat the squash.
Let's
Roz is a squash head.
perhaps, I don't know. Perhaps the things around this place are not what they seem. Keep your wits about you.
Yeah. Careful with what you see, apparently.
Luckily, unless they're doing big illusions of where the usual markers are, I should still be able to lead us.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going.
All right, with that, you leave the lumber yard and you head towards the tree line into the Pallid Grove. No short rest. All right.
I will resummon Luster with acid.
Oh, sure. Acid breath.
I thought acid is for the piles.
The pallet piles?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, we smoke shrooms, but we don't have good alcohol, but we probably have
But-
decent underground shrooms.
My Aunt Triv had a way of
Never smoked shrooms.
My Aunt Triv had a way of distilling mushrooms and get a real potent effect.
Yikes.
She used to tell me about it, and Mom got
She
real
learned
mad.
that in the Underdark.
Mm-hmm.
Maeve,
Yes.
as you're all making your trek through the woods, what's running through Maeve's head right now? How's she feeling about the prospect that her, as well as the prospect that her people could possibly be behind those creatures and dealing with an issue in that way?
Frantic. Before, when she saw the portal, she was immediately thinking, oh, I did this. When I left and we weren't here, and this portal just grew and grew and grew. And then she's kind of seeing what's happening here, and, even more just like, is this like them? Were they pushed to do this? Is the portal still involved? We know how people's minds were kind of like tampered with before, so she's trying to keep a calm face, obviously, 'cause she's trying to lead everybody and stuff like that, but she's pretty frantic, I
Okay.
think, inside.
As you're moving through as well, Zana brings up the title that the two of you had found in the letters, the Prism Sage.
Yes.
As that name is mentioned to the rest of the group, the following people can make rolls if they would like. Hermia, Corey, and Leo can all make history checks. Zealous, you can make one at disadvantage. Sorry, Roz, you don't know shit about this world.
Nope. Sounds like a very bad band.
17 plus 7.
17 plus 7 will do it. Leo, did you want to try a roll?
I rolled a 19, and I don't have anything in history,
Okay.
so just 19.
So Hermia and Leo, that name rings a bell to you. Leo, you've heard of the Prism Sage as like an old wives' tale. A witch or a fortune teller who lives in the woods near the Bromkiln Hills. Some say she grants people's deepest desires. Others say that she eats children who misbehave and don't listen to their parents. So, Hermie, you got a what?
17 plus 7.
Okay, yeah, that's a lot. And what was your total, Leo?
Just a 19.
Just a 19. Okay. Hermia, I'm going to allow you, because you had such a high check there, you have sort of the same information as Leo. You can ask an additional 5 questions pertaining to the Prism Sage.
So she's like, oh, this isn't my question. This is just me making sure I understood what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
She's an old witch that like eats children, supposedly.
An old wives' tale. And Hermia, you only just recently heard about her, when you came to the Prime Material Plane and have been staying here for a few months. But yeah, it's an old wives' tale. Basically, if you're a bad boy or girl, the Prism Sage is gonna come and eat you, so you better eat your vegetables and go to bed on time. Adults say that, if you can find her in the hills, that she will grant you a wish, or she'll like tell your fortune. And just for clarity's sake, the Brom Kiln Hills are over. Did I do that right? Are over here on the sort of west side of the Empire along the Sirius Mountains.
When people ask her for help, is she one of those old witches that like, oh, like her help, you don't really want her help because it's gonna end up backfiring?
The stories are mixed. You've never met anyone who's known someone who's actually met her. It's just more like, oh, my brother heard of a guy who knew someone, and in half of the stories they get what they wished for, and in another half of the stories they get what they wished for, but in an unexpected way that sort of teaches them a lesson, like about themselves or like their desires or something.
Is Hermia's line of thinking, because she's like, oh, this sounds exactly like a story Leander would tell me to freak me out.
Sure would.
And in his stories, a creepy old witch lady who people go to help, like, who a big company asks for help, and then to, like, help, like, force out the Pallid elves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she could have, like, enchanted a bunch of vegetable people, and they ended up just eating everybody instead of just the people they wanted to have eaten.
Could be.
Given that any question that I ask is just going to be based on like just gossip,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think like there's any like helpful question that I could ask where I'd get a definitive answer.
Okay. Well, you'd still technically have 4 questions if the other players at the table would like to help you potentially come up with one to try and get you some more information. Feel free to. You can discuss this amongst yourselves. Doesn't all have to come from Katie.
If anybody has like a question that they would ask, feel free to speak up.
Is there any connection to her and the Pallid elves?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No. The Bromkiln Hills are pretty far away from the Pallid Grove, but the Festerwill Pool is a lot closer. You've never heard of any tales of her being located elsewhere, but if this is, an old wives' tale, I mean, it's possible that people from different areas have heard tellings of it in different ways. I also forgot to mention, too, KTC, the Carventine Company, is based out of Teldore, so all those letters you got would have came from Teldore.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, 3 more?
So that's weird that, like, because if this Prism Witch was something that was, like, a well-known, like, story and not a regional one, that's interesting that people from Teldore would know.
Yeah.
And the first time Hermia thought of it was when she first came to Exandria.
Robbie, can you remind me again, like, what the letters were saying regards to the prism?
They wanted to hire her as a fixer, or they could.
Yeah, the Prism Sage was mentioned in the last letter, basically saying, go to the Festerwill pools and find the Prism Sage. She fixes problems. Or it was said in a way that was, I suppose in a letter it's hard to know for sure. It could have been a matter of like, look for the Prism Sage then. She fixes problems. Like, just sort of a joke at the person's desperation that he's not fixing things. It's hard to tell in text form.
Yeah, because I was about to ask if perhaps the Prism Sage is just a code name for somebody. But
what what race is the Prism Sage?
It varies. She is sometimes described, whether a witch or a fortune teller. Some stories have her as being this old, sort of gnarled, hunchback woman. Other stories have her as being a beautiful, forever young maiden.
So basically, could be anybody.
Could be.
Okay.
One more.
That's all I got.
My suggestion would be to ask how old this myth has been going around.
My guess is that it's probably like since, based off what we heard of from the initial check, that it's like longer than like a human's lifespan.
It's an old wives' tale, yeah, probably.
did we get kind of like the most famous story regarding this sage witch?
This generalized story. I don't know if there was like.
Yeah, I will say that's actually not a bad question. This story, this wives' tale, you've heard people say that it's been passed down like generation to generation to generation, that it comes from even before the Empire was formed, and some people say it goes back as far as before the Calamity.
So we could be dealing with another Plague of Ice situation.
I mean,
That was an old
possibly.
wives' tale.
Right.
Before we saw it firsthand.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Why
Or
would
it could
she-
be the same person, for all we know, if it's thousands of years old.
It's interesting that if we're taking this literally and not sarcastically, that this company thought that they would help them,
Right.
which is why it could be sarcastic.
Yeah, cause like, Robbie, based on like what you told us, she's really like none of the stories generally have a consensus that she's necessarily benevolent. She's kind of like, some say she is and some say she's not.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. That's what I figured. So yeah, I don't know if she's known for helping people, but it's weird that that'd be your like person to ask. Like, I personally would never ask a creepy old witch for help, but then I'm used to hags in the Feywild. Just you don't talk to them.
What about a hot witch?
No.
Roswood.
Would you?
Yeah, you're gonna have to be
No.
careful of that.
No. No, listen here. No.
Insight check.
Ellie would.
Insight check.
Roz would not.
Sorry. Hot tiefling for Roz.
Well, we might have to have a talk about that, yeah.
It's already happened.
It did happen once, yeah.
Hey, Liz.
Yes.
Do you think it might be helpful to, I don't know, ask your goddess? Seems all plant nature based.
Well, it's kind of a far cry to call these things plants, but I can understand what you're trying to say. I can attempt to commune with my goddess at nighttime. Although she's not usually the one to respond, but we'll see what happens.
I mean, if my domain were getting, my shit wrecked, I might pick up the phone. I'm sorry, answer the sending stone,
Worth trying.
It's worth a try.
All right, we'll keep moving.
Maeve,
Mm-hmm.
I assume you're leading the group?
Yes,
Oops.
correct.
Sorry, I'm trying to do map stuff. And
Nope, y'all fuckers are on your own.
The
Yeah. Going the
That
shortcut.
tree right there, you just follow that tree to the next tree.
And the next tree, and the next tree. You'll get there.
With your perception, Maeve,
Yes.
as you're walking, you see. At first, you're not sure. You think it's just maybe a trick of the light. The fact that your nerves are going, the anxiety. It's not uncommon when you are overly stressed and in intense situations like this for your mind to sometimes play tricks on you. At first, it's just shadows. But then you think you see a hooded figure. And then at one point, all of you watch as Maeve comes to a complete dead stop. And Maeve, you see in front of you one pale arm resting on a tree. Two more arms down to its side. A hooded, cloaked figure with an abyss for a face staring down at you.
She has her bow and arrow out.
You reach back, take an arrow, and as you knock it and aim,
Draw a sword.
figure's gone.
Damn it. Sorry, I thought I saw something. Some figure. The never-ending face.
Well, happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
Maeve, I'm not going to make you roll for this because you would be intimately familiar with it. The Crawling King is depicted as a long, twisting figure with 3 arms.
God. All right. Yeah, she is not okay then. As she kind of grits her teeth in and shakes her head. It's just a vision. It's just a vision.
Vision of something?
That's weird that you guys are seeing visions.
Twisted.
Wouldn't call what I saw visions. I stepped in some worms.
That
that
weren't
weren't
there.
Yeah, I get it, but
Twisted figure with 3 arms. It's a symbol for us for the Crawling King.
I mean, are these forests known to, produce illusory images?
Not like this.
Crawling King's the devil that chased around your people underground for a while?
He's
Yes, well.
one of the betrayer gods that sunk the Pallid Grove. It used to be a plateau prior
Whoa.
to this.
Whoa, no, hold up. Wait, no. I thought your gods were all sealed behind a wall somewhere. Like they'd left and couldn't come back.
Yes. This was during the calamity before that.
This was all before that.
They
This
waged
was-
war across Exandria, and when the prime deities won, they sealed each of them away and then banished themselves behind the divine gate.
Got it.
This was the incident. What happened to the Pallid Grove is just one incident as part of the calamity all across Exandria.
What is his domains?
Prison, torture,
Torture,
and
prison.
slavery.
One of the famous stories is A powerful knight full of just and honor came to try to kill him and was instead tortured to be his right-hand man.
Roz grimaces.
What was his name again?
The Laughing Hand.
The Laughing Hand, thank you. Called the Laughing Hand.
That's a sick name. Like a bad guy.
Legends were that for every wound he took, a gaping, laughing maw would instead take its place instead of bleeding.
Ah.
These were the stories I was told as a child, except, well, they were true.
Hey, Maeve, that's pretty fucked up.
I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't go underground for shits and giggles.
Fair.
It was for the only way to survive. We would have been decimated if it weren't for that. But
Do the
Fair.
betrayer gods have influence over the prime material plane at this point, though?
As
they-
much as any other god
They're
would.
not supposed to, but there's also a portal here. So I don't know what that means. Hopefully it's just scary illusions.
Illusions. Everyone sees illusions. These are visions.
What would visions of a pile of worms be?
Where do
Like,
worms?
what is that trying to tell you?
Where do
Worms come-
worms live?
They live
Underground.
underground.
They tunnel.
Except when it rains and then they come above ground to drown.
They tunnel through the ground.
It's a sign. I
Oop.
don't
Yeah, but Roz wouldn't have understood the meaning.
I don't think that's the point though. I think it's
Has
well-
anyone else seen anything odd that you thought might just be your mind playing tricks on you?
No.
I feel like we all
you?
think about the squash monsters and raise our hand, and then you're like, that you just thought your mind played tricks on you, and everyone puts their hand back down.
Roz, do you want to mention the breathing ground?
Yeah, I think Roz would probably mention that here, that she really couldn't make heads or tails of it, and she just thought her eyes were playing tricks on her.
Wait, the ground was breathing?
Not really. Like, it lifted up and then lifted down a little bit.
It's like the breathing hot dog story that Robbie tells me all the time.
It's not canon.
good to know.
Good to know. Yeah.
Now you all know too.
If
So go ahead. I'll finish my thought after you.
if the crawling king has made some way of being here, we have very big issues.
I was gonna
I
say
told you we could kill him. We're going to.
that so like there's champions of like the prime deities. Is it that far-fetched to think that there wouldn't be champions of the betrayer gods?
No, there definitely are. Some accounts of Vox Machina's battle against Vecna at Vasselheim say that a champion of Tiamat aided them.
Wait, aided Vox Machina?
Yes.
That's odd.
Well, he also ran off with the hand of Vecna afterwards, so.
Oh, okay, so he was bad.
If he
All
has
rumors.
taken someone here as a champion, damn it. We need to keep going. We need to figure out what's happening, and we need to close the portal, and I need to fix this. However way I need to.
One thing at
Yeah.
a time. We'll get there.
All right. With that,
All right.
you all push on, knowing that you will reach Maeve's home just before nightfall. And that's where we'll pick up next week.